Alright guys, so you want clear skin, you don't know how to get it. You've probably been told that it's just genetics or it's just puberty or whatever. You just have to live with it. Things like acne, things like eczema, rosacea, dermatitis, these kind of things that we call common skin diseases that are usually just attributed to, you know, whatever, genetics or whatnot. But we're gonna show you how to cure it. Takes some time, maybe 3 weeks to like 2 months, depending on how bad. First thing, of course, common sense you don't want to do is touch your skin or pick at it, which is literally just going to cause bleeding. It's going to cause more irritation. There's a reason that the disease is shown up, like for example, eczema. There's a reason why the skin is dry, and it's an internal reason. It's nothing to do with, or it could be to do something to do with the outside, but it's not to do with, like, you can't fix it by touching it. So just don't touch it. You're only going to make it worse, okay? Popping pimples, only going to make them worse, because even with pimples, like, they don't pop on their own. They just heal. Like, they don't pop, okay? There's not a hole in your skin which it comes through. All that happens is it becomes a scab and then it heals off, right? It doesn't pop. It doesn't make a hole in your skin. So why do you think that popping your skin, like literally putting a hole in your skin, is going to make it better? That's only going to make it worse, make it harder for it to heal. Okay, so these problems are mostly gut problems. Like, that's basically the only thing they are. There are a few other things, but the main thing is fixing your gut. So, you know, you want to cut out gut disrupting foods. You want to cut out things that make the gut lining permeable, things that disrupt the mucus layer of the gut, and things that will like harm your microbiome, disrupt the microbiome. And what happens is when you consume these disrupting foods, it leads to something called leaky gut. And this is where the gut lining is permeable, and certain toxins like endotoxins from bacteria, you know, plant toxins, different things, different compounds can leak into the bloodstream. And this, you know, can overload the liver, can cause a huge amount of inflammation and oxidative stress, and, you know, overwhelm your antioxidants. This will just cause your sebum production to go through the roof, your inflammation to go through the roof, and it'll all show in your skin, because the skin is the most expensive part of the body, the most expensive organ. So whenever there's something internal, your skin always suffers because it just can't afford to keep the skin healthy, to keep it from disease. Your body can't afford that. So we want to cut out skin irritating and gut disrupting foods. The first, of course, being seed oils, obviously. So these have a higher content of oxidized linoleic acid, which is very rich in lipid peroxides, which are carcinogens. They cause systemic inflammation. If you have a lot of linoleic acid, a lot of omega-6, this can alter sebum composition and, you know, make it more prone to blocking pores and stuff. Basically, it's just system-wide inflammation it's going to cause, which is going to lead to heaps of acne. It's also going to make the gut permeable. We want to avoid seed oils at any cost. And this includes things like avocado and olive oil. Olive oil, cold pressed olive oil, yeah. But then again, it's probably going to oxidize on the shelf because it's extracted. It's not in the food matrix, so it's not as stable as it was before. It's incredibly unstable. As soon as it's bottled, it's literally going to oxidize like 35 degrees. So, you know, you don't want to be putting stuff like that in your body. It's different from you know, eating some linoleic acid, which is in beef or in avocado, because it's not going to oxidize when it's in the food unless you heat it. You know, if it's extracted, that's when it's going to oxidize. So it's very different. Okay, and obviously processed foods, you know, I hope none of you guys are eating this, but this is quite obvious. This is just because of the additives, not because of processing. Like, obviously all food gets processed. When you cut up an animal, it gets processed, but what I mean by processed foods is things with additives, like emulsifiers, like polysorbate 80. This is basically a soap, an industrial soap, which is going to absolutely destroy your gut, kill all your microbes, destroy the mucus layer, absolutely strip the mucus layer, and put holes in your gut really easily. Soy lecithin is another example of this. We've also got aspartame, which is an artificial sweetener, which is going to disrupt the gut heavily. Sodium benzoate, which is a antibiotic, right? It's a preservative, so it's just going to like literally kill your microbes, because that's what it's meant to do in the food. It's supposed to stop it from going off. That's why processed foods have such a long shelf life, because of these preservatives like sodium benzoate and sodium nitrate, sodium nitrite. That's all it's supposed to do. As it goes into your body, this is what it keeps doing. It keeps killing microbes. So it's going to completely kill all of the microbes in your body, not necessarily all of them, but it's going to attack all of them. And we've got red 40. Obviously, this is horrible. Artificial color, but yeah, literally a fabric dye. Why the hell are you eating this? I really hope you're not. Okay, the next thing we want to eliminate, especially for the first like month until it heals, we can add a little bit back in here and there. after it fully heals. But while it's fully healing, we don't want to eat any plant foods, especially no vegetables and grains. Fruits, not as bad, okay? You might not notice it as much with fruits. Only in very severe cases of acne, severe sensitivity problems, that you're going to notice it with fruits. And the reason you would notice it with fruits would be because of the pesticides. So if you're getting, pesticide-free things, not organic. Organic is not by any means pesticide-free. That's not what it means in most countries. You need to be getting stuff from a farmer if you want to eat fruit, which I don't recommend. Like, you can eat fruit. There's not really any benefit or any reason for you to be eating fruit. But yeah, if you eat fruits and it gives you acne, the reason is because of pesticides. In general, we just want to cut out plant foods during the healing phase. This is mostly because pesticides, but mostly because of these plant toxins, which is like aflatoxins, sulfur compounds like sulfuric acid, oxalates, which bind all your minerals. They're little shards that attack your tissues and stuff. Saponins, phytates, tannins, protease inhibitors. These are all going to cause systemic inflammation basically and disrupt your gut. They're all going to make your gut lining permeable, make endotoxins produced by bacteria being irritated leak into the gut, which will cause more systemic inflammation, and that's going to lead to increased oil output in your skin. So that's why we want to eliminate all plant foods in the beginning. These two, and grains and vegetables always. I mean, I don't know why I put this here. This is two of these are literally fruits, cucumber and tomato, but the green leaves and stuff we want to eliminate. And definitely fruits at the beginning I would, unless you have some completely pesticide, completely pesticide free fruits, which I doubt you're going to have. And you shouldn't be eating that many fruits anyway, but so that's from the inside, what we're going to do to heal from the inside. And then from the outside, you have to remove topical products. Why? Because they contain a lot of disrupting compounds, a lot of toxic compounds that will really irritate your skin, like benzoyl peroxide, like salicylic acid, like retinoids, sulfates, parabens, and synthetic fragrances. These will strip the lipid layer of your skin, strip all the oils away. Super bad for you. It's going to cause transepidermal water loss, so you're going to lose, that water coming out. There's going to be like loss of water, loss of hydration inside your skin, inside the epidermis. We don't want that, especially. This is going to cause oxidative stress in the skin, so this is going to damage mitochondria in the skin, inflammation too. It's just going to hurt the metabolism, hurt the healing of the skin, and it's going to lead to more skin disease as well. It also artificially accelerates cell turnover, which is going to make it, the structures weak of the new cells and the new proteins. Things like retinoids do this. So we want to eliminate all topical products. These don't benefit you at all, literally. Okay, we want to not wash our face with tap water, ever, because they contain things like chlorine, chloramides, fluoride, certain metals, as well as, lead and stuff, and disinfection byproducts. So a lot of bad chemicals. This can also contain endocrine disruptors, plastics, hormones, birth control, all kinds of shit, right? It depends where you live, but it's usually pretty bad. We want to not put it on our face or drink it, but mainly the focus is on, you shouldn't be drinking tap water, obviously, but, the focus with skin would be putting it on your face. So it is because chlorine oxidizes skin lipids, so it damages the lipid layer again. Also kills the microbes on the skin because it's, again, antimicrobial, chlorine, and increases the surface pH, which is going to mess up the microbiome even more. And the hot water is going to cause vasodilation. It's going to dilate blood vessels in the skin. That's going to increase blood flow to the skin. And then all of these compounds that you're getting from the water are just going to, work even faster. Also increase free radicals and oxidative stress. And this can also lead to increased oil output because it's, it's disrupting the lipid barrier. It's going to denormalize the lipid output because it has to compensate for the loss of lipids, and sometimes it can make it dry, sometimes it can make it oily. It really depends on past and whatnot. Basically, that's it. That's how we're gonna heal your acne, eczema, rosacea, dermatitis, all of these common skin diseases in a matter of weeks or months. That's how we're gonna do it. Thanks for watching, guys, and go to the next guide if you want to learn about how to fix your skin texture.